So hello and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. Today's webinar, we will be discussing solutions for blended learning. My name is Andy Brown, and I'm one of the educational account managers here at Visual Sound. And so throughout this presentation, we will be monitoring the chat for any questions that you may have. And at the end of the presentation, we will open things up, allow you to turn your microphones on and open up a general Q&A session. So presenting along with me today will be Corey Freed, our educational consultant, and Byron Miles, our engineer. So would you like to go ahead and advance the slide? Okay, so I'd first like to start with just a brief overview of Visual Sound and who we are. Visual Sound has been working with schools in the Mid-Atlantic region for over 50 years now, and we're divided into 4 divisions with system integration and design, command and control, live event and technology, and system maintenance and repair. I want to bring your attention specifically to the event technology, live and remote division, as we have been over the summer working with many schools on their virtual graduation and other streaming services. And these days we are seeing an increase in demand and interest for streaming live events such as sporting events and other large events that maybe people can't attend live these days. And so if you are facing any of those types of challenges, please reach out. We would be happy to work with you and design a solution to fit those types of needs. And so within Visual Sound, we have a specific group dedicated to educational technology. And within this group, we focus on many different solutions from classroom technology, STEM products and consulting, presentation and sound systems for gyms, auditoriums, and other large venues, as well as TV studios and esports, just to name a few. We also offer professional development for all of our solutions that we provide to help ensure that you use these systems to their fullest potential. And so today we'll be looking a little bit more closely on the blended learning solutions that we've put together. And so to start our discussion about blended learning, I'd like to turn things over to Corey, who will be discussing what blended learning is and how it may fit within your classroom.
Hi, everyone. So as Andy mentioned, my name is Corey. I am the educational consultant and trainer here at Visual Sound. And we all know that our classrooms are changing completely since last year. So before the shutdowns, we kind of had that traditional classroom, that face-to-face. Your students were either sitting in rows or groups. They were always collaborating, always talking. Everything was communication and all of those type of things that just make the learning process become real for our students and engage them in ways that it's kind of difficult to do when you're sitting at a computer screen like we are right now. So blended learning is the combination of the two. So you might have some face-to-face experiences and some remote learning. And then the total far end of that is the completely remote, completely online, which is what a lot of schools are looking at for the beginning of the school year. So we want to help set you guys up for success. We want to make sure that your teachers, your administrators, you have the tools that you need. So if you notice when you're on a Zoom call with your colleagues, with your vendors like with us, you can see that some webcams have a wider screenshot. Some people are very narrow and like close to their face. Like you might see some people look like this as they're talking. Hi. So we want to help you with all of that. We want to help you with that Zoom fatigue, but we also want to help set those teachers up for success. The built-in camera to your computer was great in January, or not in January, in March and April when it was crunch time. It was one day you were in the classroom and all of a sudden it's like, all right, guys, you're going to teach on Zoom for the rest of the year. But when you're starting this now, we want to set you up for that success. So we're going to show you some solutions that Visual Sound has come up with that's going to help your teachers. It's going to help the sound. It's going to help the video, because we also know that without the visuals, students aren't going to get as much out of it. You might notice right now a lot of people in our group have their cameras off. They have just their name is showing. You don't even know if your students are watching. They could be sitting in the other room and pretending to be on the call. So we're going to talk about some of that engagement, some of those things that you can do to help engage those students, make them excited, talk about the professional development opportunities that we can provide, talk about the technologies that we can provide. So I am going to pass it over to Byron now, who's going to talk about those solutions, because he is that engineer. He's the man that put these systems together to best help your teachers.
Actually, Corey, if I can just do maybe a brief overview of everything,
Oh,
and then we'll do more of a technical dive
Sure,
into the
Andy.
there we
different
go.
Great
components.
idea.
Yeah, so thank you. So what we did, we put together the picture here to, illustrate a typical small to medium classroom and the various components that would make up this blended learning solution. The idea, some of the core principles that we used in putting these components together is, one, we want to capture the audio and the video in the room, in a high quality way, giving you flexibility to, focus the camera on different areas of the room, making sure that you're getting a good audio experience for the students that are remote, as well as providing a good audio experience for those students within the room to really help blend that learning environment. So if you look at this picture, I can walk through some of the different components. Number one circled there is the teacher's computer. And that is going to be the brains of the system, if you will. So everything is going to connect back to that teacher computer. And the computer is going to run the conferencing solution, whether that be Zoom or Google Meet or what have you. And so we're going to then integrate the microphones and the cameras back into that PC. And so then number two is a USB-based speakerphone. And that is used to capture the audio within the room. It has about a 25-foot radius, 360 degrees, to capture the audio within the room, and a built-in speaker so that participants within the room can hear the far side students if they are speaking. Number three then is a pan tilt zoom camera mounted to a tripod. The reason we chose the tripod is to give flexibility within the room to position the camera in an ideal way. And the pan tilt zoom technology gives you the flexibility to zoom in on the front of room, do a wide shot of the entire room, focus just to the teacher. And this particular camera can be controlled then via remote to some preset locations. And so it's easy to control. Then number four is an interactive tablet. And what this allows a teacher to do is be able to annotate and interact with content more mobily. So they don't have to necessarily be at the front of room, or if you don't have an interactive front of room display, you're able to then incorporate that interactivity and the ability to annotate using a tablet such as number four. And then finally, number five is a voice lift system. So again, one of the challenges that we're all facing today is the possibility or of the reality of wearing masks. And when trying to project your voice when wearing a mask may be difficult. And so what this system allows for is a pendant style microphone that a teacher would wear around their neck, and it would project their voice through that speaker circled in number five to the classroom. And then obviously the microphone would also pick up the teacher's voice there for the remote students. And so that's basically an overview of the different components that we've put together. And so Byron, I guess, can now really do a more deep dive on how all of this connects, how all of it works, and kind of go into some of the technology behind these components.
Thank you, Andy.
There you go. You forgot the next slide, Andy.
Oh, okay. Yep, sorry. So the document cameras, when we have put together the pan tilt zoom cameras, there are supply issues that we have run into, and I'm sure all of you have run into, and some cost issues as well. And so we have substituted the pan tilt zoom camera in some situations with document cameras. Document cameras are very flexible in that they can be used in the traditional way of sharing content, paper, virtually through the remote session, but also you can tilt that camera to face the teacher, to face the front of the room, and capture more of the space than what a built-in camera on a PC would do. So it offers some greater flexibility and quality of video than the built-in PC, but as a it's available today and a lower price point than the pan tilt zoom camera. So that is an option that we have seen as becoming more popular. And so now I will turn that over to Byron to talk about the technology of it.
Thank you, Andy.
Mhm.
I'm finally catching the ball.
That was my bad.
No, it's all good. Hi, my name is Byron Miles. I'm one of the engineers here at Visual Sound, and I've provided some assistance with putting a number of these solutions together. If you concentrate on the left frame there, I kind of want to talk about one of the what the rationale was for the selection of some of the pieces, and after that a little bit about the connectivity on the physical layer, and some discussion about what the options are as well. So on the far left, you see there's a camera, it's a pan tilt zoom camera. I think in our original bundle suite of bundled solutions, that particular camera has a 20 times zoom on it. It has a variety of outputs, USB being one of them. It also has an HDMI output, which is not going to be used in this particular configuration. And beneath the camera, there's a tripod. Everybody's seen them. Most people have probably used them. And then from the camera, we have a USB connection to the teacher's laptop. Above the laptop that's in the center of the screen, you will find a USB speaker, USB speaker phone. So not only is that a speaker, it also has integrated microphones. We call them a microphone array, which is a number of microphones working in tandem to provide coverage for a specified area. This particular model that's specified and pictured here has a coverage area of about 25 feet. And of course, with any microphone, the farther you are away from the microphone, the more you need to project. We're good here at Visual Sound with what we do, but we have not learned how to violate the laws of physics yet. And then if you look to the right of the computer, you will see an arrow indicating a connection to the rest of the planet or the rest of your community or the internet, the World Wide Web, via Teams or whatever unified collaboration client you have installed on your computer. The hardware that's specified is absolutely agnostic. It doesn't care whether you have a PC, a Mac, or whether you're running a Sun system, so long as it has a USB port on it that supports human interfaces, it, these solutions will work. So your responsibility is, now we're going to stay on that. We're going to stay on that one. We're going to stay on that one.
Sorry.
So your responsibility is, okay. I'm not driving. Corey's driving, and she forgot to mind. I forgot to mind mail with her. So your school's responsibility is to have the client, whether it be Zoom, what have you, installed on that PC. If you look on the left side of the screen, the far left side, you'll see the camera and the tripod again, and then there are two little boxes. Those boxes are USB extenders. By the standard, USB 2.0 shall not be used on a piece of cable that's more than 5 meters, or roughly 15 feet, 16 feet actually. So those two boxes labeled USB TX for transmitter and USB RX for receiver are called extending devices. There are a number of them available. Um, we chose one that we use a lot, that we know is reliable. Between the transmitter and the receiver, we would provide you, or you provide your own piece of LAN cable or Ethernet cable or Cat5 cable or Cat6 cable, whatever you have available. And what that allows you to do is take a camera on a tripod, for instance, and sit it in the back of an instructional space versus having it within 15 feet of usually the instructor or the front of the classroom. So as the base bundle does not include the extenders, they are options. And we just want to make sure that you understand that, and that's clearly delineated in the bill of materials. Um, so let's go to the next slide, Corey, and
Next slide or the other side of this picture?
the other slide of that sheet, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a different streaming solution. It's similar, but it's different. Um, Functionally, it provides the same outcome, and the idea is for the instructional leader to be able to communicate with a student or whoever is on the far end. The camera on the left, we already talked about the USB transmitter and receiving pair for extensions. So the camera can be located somewhere beyond the 5 meter limit. The speakerphone is down on the bottom. There's a hub in this solution. And what a hub does is, think of it as an airplane terminal. The hub takes a bunch of traffic in and disperses it, or makes it available to every port. So the hub is provided because we don't know what type of computer an individual instructor or school is going to have. So one connection to the USB port on a computer, and that hub that's indicated there has 7 additional ports that we can connect additional products to. Directly above the hub, the white box is a voice lift solution. Um, that particular solution also comes with a microphone, which you may choose to use or not. But it is intended in this design to lift the voice of persons on the far end if it's being used in a call. And if it's not being used in a call, it can be used for voice lift inside of a classroom or space. Sometimes instructors have laryngitis or throat problems, or there's a large audience. That's a collateral benefit of that particular device. It can connect via Bluetooth to a laptop, which is a benefit, or it can connect via a wired connection to a laptop for a streaming solution. Either way works. Down in the lower right corner to the right of the hub, we have a digitizing tablet. Wacom is a major manufacturer of those, but there are multiple other manufacturers available at multiple price points and multiple feature sets. It connects via USB to the hub, and the hub is connected to the laptop or a desktop. There are a variety of speakerphone solutions available at different price points. We believe that the one that we offer as a standard in the bundle is probably one of the better solutions because if you use the speakers in a standard classroom, 25 by 25 or 30 by 30 feet, um, uh, everyone in the classroom will be able to hear, and the microphone sensitivity is such that it will pick up most of the people um, who project well as well. What else do we have here? There are a variety of cameras available from a variety of manufacturers. Currently, there is a high demand for cameras. We want you to know that we are here to work with you. The bundles can be modified. We had to start somewhere, and this is what we're presenting. We can take you uptown from here, or we can trim the fat off. There's not much in these, trust me, and customize a solution for your instructors, your district, or your specific school. And that completes my piece for this part. So I guess we're going to go back to you,
So Byron, we actually just got a question for you.
Corey.
How is the speakerphone deployed in the classroom? Is it a ceiling or wall mount?
It is neither. The particular speakerphone that's pictured here is designed to sit on a desktop. And that's going to be the situation with most of them. So it sits on the teacher's desk, and the teacher does what he or she normally does in terms of instruction.
All right.
There are ceiling mountable microphone solutions, but they are way out of a typical classroom price point.
And someone just asked, so Andy, maybe you can answer this one. Current delivery time, anything long wait?
Yeah, that's
What's
the
a
million
long
dollar.
wait?
Yeah, that's the million dollar question these days. And the reason, one of the reasons we have remained so flexible with these bundles is in part for that reason. And it does literally change day by day, as you can imagine. So you really have to consult with your account managers for specifics, but we are able to get these components, or most of these components, within a 3 to 4 week lead time typically. But we do change components out. We do work with you to customize, as we know availability is a huge concern. And so we've really tried to remain flexible and create, a variety of different solutions to hopefully meet those needs.
All right, so I am going to answer Richard's question really fast. Yes, we will send out pricing information for these bundles after the webinar is over. And then to answer Frank's question about configuration recommendations for teachers working from home. So that's another nice reason why we picked the specific items we picked. We wanted to make sure that these items, these cameras, the speakerphone, it's all the type of stuff that a teacher can easily take home with them if they need to. I don't think the teacher's going to take home the tripod and all that. I mean, they physically could. It's not going to be like an SUV full of equipment. So if they need to take this equipment home, they can. It's also, all this equipment can be repurposed afterwards. And that's another really nice feature about it, especially that front row, the speaker system. If you have students with hearing disabilities, or you, again, I think Byron mentioned the teacher with laryngitis, these systems are really going to help your classroom even after all of this COVID is over. So nothing that we're selling you is going to just sit and collect dust after COVID. You're going to be able to continue using it for successful classroom use.
Yep. I think that's a good segue into the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
And that is setting up the classroom and setting up the teacher. And as Corey mentioned, the components are intentionally designed to be mobile. And so in a home environment, you could set up a classroom and teach a little more naturally, be able to get up and walk around. You have a higher quality camera, higher quality microphone, can set up a teaching space at home, and potentially set up a whiteboard and be able to teach in a more natural position than, say, sitting up in front of a laptop. But in working with schools, we've also seen a need and a demand for an all-in-one mobile type of solution that could potentially follow the teacher around a school, or set up in a temporary space within the school building. And so what we've designed then is a display with microphone and camera, all built into one mobile unit. Yes, and the slide here shows you the components of this mobile unit. And so on the top here is a sound bar with a camera and a microphone. So it will pick up the voice of the teacher. The camera will capture the video of the teacher, and the sound bar will project the audio from students from the far side. And what can be displayed on this monitor can be the Zoom call or the Google Meet call. And so it gives you a nice big space to see all of the students who are remote. And so that may be easier to manage as a teacher than trying to view and manage everyone on a smaller laptop screen. So think of this as almost like a confidence monitor. So you can position this unit at the front of the classroom, pointed toward the teacher, so that the camera picks up the front of the room, and the microphone would pick up the teacher, and the teacher would be able to see then the remote students on this display, and then the laptop would display the content of what's being taught to the front of room display. So you wouldn't necessarily want the content of the Zoom call to be displayed to everybody in the classroom. And so this would allow you some of that additional flexibility to be able to monitor that Zoom call and display your educational content for the entire room. And being on a mobile cart allows you to position this again in an ideal location within the classroom, set up a temporary space within a classroom, or even if students are staying in one room and teachers are rotating, you could even have this system follow the teacher, that type of thing.
Now, I will say you're probably not sending this home with the teachers if they go home, because the cart is on the bigger side, but that web conferencing soundbar could be removed from the cart if the teacher did need a camera and a sound system at home for ease of use. So even though the entire system, and you're obviously not going to bring your interactive display home either, although that might be nice to have a smart board in your home office, but so every piece won't go home with the teacher, but it can be pieced together. And that's the other purpose of these solutions, is because it's going to help you however we can help you.
And just to point about the web conferencing soundbar that's just above that 32-inch display, that is a very versatile piece of equipment, and it has lots of features, including a Bluetooth support that aren't currently being used in this design. But feature for feature, you get a lot of bang for the buck for that sound bar. And if it's not being used in conjunction with that particular cart, it can be placed on a table or even mounted to a wall. That said, everything you see on the picture, on the graphic rather, with the exception of the items with a red NI, is included in the bundle. There is, from the laptop that you provide to the soundbar, is a USB connection. We take video out of your laptop, and that goes into a 1x2 HDMI splitter. One input, two outs. One of the outputs is going to go to your display, which is indicated on the right. They can be an interactive or non-interactive display, and the other output from the splitter is going to go to the monitor that's on the cart. So this particular, there's also a power strip included. The wireless, the web conferencing soundbar also has a wireless remote control interface that allows you to hang up a call or mute a call or change the volume. There's support for Bluetooth pairing if you want to connect from your device to the soundbar via Bluetooth. And there's a small battery in it that has to be replaced every few years. It doesn't take much power. But it's a great solution. And you can see this is very flexible because of the cart. We're very proud of this price point because we usually specify carts that begin costing us $800. So we were able to get this bundle together for you, and we're very happy to present it to you.
So Byron, I would like to interject one comment.
Sure.
That might have been missed, and it's a very important feature in all the speaker phones and microphone array soundbars. Is the echo cancellation and ambient noise reduction that's built into the products that we currently have. So these are just not standard microphones that you would think you can use that are built into your webcam or into your actual laptop. So and that's how we could actually use the sound reinforcement within the room and still use it with excellent audio. That we know that audio is the key component from communications. If we lose video and still have audio, we could still get by. So that echo cancellation and ambient noise reduction is a crucial item or feature that we selected within the products we actually are exposing to everyone today, from that speakerphone and this web conferencing soundbar. Very key.
Great point, Ramon. Yeah,
Thank you,
great.
Ramon. Byron, before we move on to talking about professional development, there is a question in the chat. So
Mhm.
these modular components, can they be hardwired down the road?
Yes. So these systems were designed to meet the immediate need, and after the COVID-19, this environment has passed. Um, all of these products can be reallocated for as part of a solution in a different environment. So in the case of a PTZ camera, that camera can be taken off of a tripod and permanently installed on a wall with the use, with the aid and benefit of a USB extender, perhaps, and reused that way. The speaker phones, I can't think of of a person that I know who hasn't had a need for a speakerphone. So those can be reallocated. Things like the splitter that we see on this screen, the applications for that particular piece are are only limited by one's imagination. So yes, we gave a lot of thought to what happens um, after this environment has passed. So yeah, all this stuff can be reallocated.
So keep in mind, as you indicated earlier, you might have missed that the PTZ cameras actually has multiple outputs, including some of them SDI, HDMI. So we had the thought of using them in auditoriums initially when we selected the products. It was early on during the pandemic. And currently now we look at the cameras and look at the viewing angles of these cameras. Byron is working on the project of the field of view of these cameras. Again, the initial bundles were intended to repurpose the product. Specifically, maybe the pan and tilt camera, again, has about 5 different outputs. And it also has streaming capabilities out the cameras too. So you can actually look at this camera from a security guard station and actually use it for security if you needed to, streaming on your network if you put it on your network. So there's a lot of flexibility and reason and purpose behind the product selection.
All right. Any other questions for our engineers? And we'll come back to more question and answer time if you think of something later on. All right. Can you explain the connectivity for the voice lift speaker and lapel mic setup? Concerned about hearing teachers through a mask both in person and on Zoom.
So I can answer that question. It is a Bluetooth connection, but it's a lapel-based microphone that the teacher would wear around their neck. And we have actually a demo video of Corey speaking through a mask, through that system. So yes, it is, the microphone is certainly sensitive enough to pick up the voice and to amplify the voice even through a mask. And the microphone is wirelessly connected back to that speaker via Bluetooth.
Yeah, we
Actually,
did film
actually, Andy,
Mm-hmm.
it is connected via IR.
By IR,
The speaker, yes,
Yep.
Infrared, so it's a line of sight from the speaker to the microphone. Bluetooth connectivity is the flexibility to connect to a laptop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it is wireless, but yep.
So Andre Lee just asked if there's going to be a visual demonstration of the system in action. We can set that up. It's in another room, but we can do that. We're also going to send you the video after the call that shows everything being demonstrated in use in a mock-up of a classroom that we set up here. So obviously I'm not in a classroom, but we set it up to appear like a classroom to show you that real world application of it, yes. All right, so for the big thing, getting this technology in the hands of your teachers is just one step of it. Because if the teachers don't know how to use it and they're not comfortable with it, it's only going to go so far. So besides the actual technology, the cameras, the microphones, all of that, we also offer professional development on the softwares and on the different programs. So what's really nice about us compared to going to a specific vendor is we're product agnostic. If your school's working with Google, we can train on Google. If you're working on Microsoft, we can train on Microsoft. So don't feel like you can only come to us for the specific products we sell, because we are going to be there for everyone for all of that stuff. I personally, like I said, I am the educational consultant and the training specialist. I am a Google certified innovator, a Google for Education certified trainer. I am a Microsoft Innovative Education expert. I am the Microsoft Innovative, there's so many titles. I'm the Microsoft Innovative Educator Fellow for Pennsylvania this year. In fact, I just found out yesterday I was reselected for 2020-2021, so I'll be on my second term as a Microsoft Fellow. But all of these programs, Smart Learning Suite Online, it is amazing the interactivity that your teachers can use, even if they don't have a physical smart panel in their classroom. Like if they're working from home or their students are on Zoom, the Smart Learning Suite Online has so many amazing interactive features that'll help to engage the students. Because like I said before, when you're looking at a Zoom call and you have everyone's name just showing up white text on a black screen, you have no idea if your students are even listening to you. So make it interactive. In fact, right here in Zoom, we could even do a poll. So let's do a poll right now, just to show you how easy this is. Is the poll question coming up, Andy?
I do not see it.
Okay, hang on one second. I'm going to unshare my screen for a moment. So my sharing of the screen was covering the poll question. But we're going to do a quick poll. So what is your school and district currently planning for September? And we know that this is changing on a daily basis right now. Some schools just made a call yesterday. Some schools are still playing the wait game. And that's something else that's really stressful for your teachers and for your colleagues. All right. So it says right now 0% have voted.
Oh no, I'm seeing the updates.
Oh, you're seeing, so mine's not showing the updates. Interesting.
Okay, because I voted.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we've got 17 out of 22. That's 77% participation. So that's very good.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And we got a split 50-50 between 100% remote and hybrid model being the two most popular answers. There's a few that are going to go and attempt at 100% in person, and a few still considering options. But
All right.
so everybody's kind of in a different place, as we all understand. This is new for everyone, and I'm sure if we took this poll tomorrow, it would probably be different.
It would probably be very different results if we did it again tomorrow.
So,
all right. So since someone asked about seeing I'm tongue-tied, apologies, the solution in practice, we do have a video that we can share with you right now on the call. If you have questions while we're pulling that video up, please put them in the chat. Please feel free to come off of mute and ask them. We are here for you. We want to make sure that you are getting what you need right now. So please ask those questions while I pull the video up for you all.
monitoring the chat. Yeah, there are requests for the video. Corey is going to be pulling up here shortly, which does do a nice quick demonstration of the products that some of the products that we've discussed today.
My name is Corey Freed, and I'm the educational consultant for visual sound, as well as a former classroom teacher. Your classroom may be taking on a new look this fall, and I'm going to be taking you on a virtual demo of visual sound solutions for blended and remote learning to help your teachers and students succeed in the upcoming school year. Today we're going to talk about our remote learning solutions. In front of me is a speakerphone. This has a 360-degree microphone that could pick up sound from anywhere in the classroom. When I walk around, you are still able to hear my voice. Additionally, students in the back of the classroom can be picked up as well.
Hello from the back of the room.
If you have students coming into your class virtually through video software, you could also be able to hear them and speak with them because of our front row system. I have a student currently learning with us remotely today.
I can hear you just fine.
The front row system also has a lapel microphone that we will be talking about in a few moments so that you can amplify your voice to students in the classroom. The final part of our bundle is the camera. This camera has a pan, tilt, and a zoom, and it comes with a remote control that will allow your teachers to quickly change the functions. As you can see, I zoomed into my board, so now when I'm talking to my students, they can see what I'm writing. This will allow them, whether they're in the classroom or at home, to clearly see what the teacher is doing at the front of the classroom. As we talked about the front row before, you can now see that I'm wearing a lapel microphone. This allows for voice amplification so the students in the classroom as well as the students at home can clearly hear my voice. Even with the muffle of a mask on, you can still clearly hear everything I'm saying. Thank you for watching this demo for our blended learning solution, curated specifically to fit your needs as an educator to enhance your message. As a recap, the products included in this solution are a PTZ pan-tilt zoom camera, front row Juno for all-in-one sound, USB speakerphone, and a USB multi-port hub, allowing connectivity directly to a personal laptop. For more information, you may find additional resources for our blended learning solution below in the video description. Thank you for joining us today in our virtual demo. If you have any questions, please reach out to your account manager here at Visual Sound. Thank you.
And
So
we
as you
produced that video right here at Visual Sound about, what, 3-4 weeks ago? In another part of the building. Sorry to jump in there, Corey. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that was fine. I had to switch back to my headset. So you could hear that microphone was, you could hear me clearly even though I had the mask on at the time while we were recording it. And that was the whole point of recording it wearing a mask. I was socially distant. There was one other person in the room with me and he was sitting about 20 feet away from where I was, just so that I had someone kind of monitoring to make sure that I was staying in frame. But other than that, and the video was filmed on the pan-tilt camera that we are recommending, and we used the audio that we're recommending. So that entire thing was set up in that way so you could see the exact products that Byron and Ramon and all of our amazing engineer team, they went through all these products and they decided which ones were going to be best for your classrooms. They didn't want you to just go buy a $40 camera and then have terrible video and be complaining about the camera. We wanted to make sure you get the right products to help your teachers. And again, the visual is one of the most important things for those students, because if you're currently just talking and you're droning on and just very flat sounding, your students are going to get very bored very quickly. So we want to make sure that you have all those tools to be successful, because we want your students to be successful. We want your teachers to be successful.
Okay, so if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to enter those into the chat. If you'd like to come off of mute, you can do that as well, and we can hear your lovely voice if you'd like to ask a question that way. But we did schedule this for an hour, so we have a few minutes here for that open Q&A time. So please feel free to ask us any questions, any challenges, unique things that your particular school is facing.
I feel like I should just start cold calling people. Popsicle sticks, maybe?
It's the challenge of being a teacher, right? It's to get everyone to participate. I can certainly sympathize, but we do appreciate everyone, coming to join us today. Hopefully you found something educational that you can take away from today's session. We're certainly always available to help you out and to talk with you one-on-one through your unique needs, as all of these, everything that we've presented today is certainly customizable. We know that one solution doesn't fit every need. So we do work with you one-on-one to customize all of these solutions.
So we have a few questions in the chat. So Bob asked, he missed the PTZ camera that we used. So Byron, which camera were we using that day?
That was the Lumens camera, I think. I don't remember which one was in the video. Was it a black camera?
Yes, it was not the silver one, it was the black one.
Yeah, that was the Lumens camera that was that provides a 20 times zoom, optical zoom. It has USB 2.0, USB 3.0, HDMI and HDMI outputs. It also supports audio in, which we aren't using in this particular solution, and it can be controlled by a third-party control system, which we are not using in this particular solution. And these are a standard complement of inputs and outputs on most PTZ cameras.
All right. So
and it's very reasonably priced for what you're getting, I might add.
All right. And Frank asked, who do they contact to talk one-on-one? So Frank, if you know who your account manager is, you can reach out to them. If you don't, if you email that address that's on your screen right now, info@visualsound.com, we will make sure that somebody gets in touch with you for that one-on-one conversation, because we really, like I said, we want you to be successful. Someone just asked if we will send the video out. Yes, when you registered for this webinar, we have your email addresses from the registration form. So we are going to be sending a follow-up email, and that will also answer Andre's question of the pricing of the bundle. All of that will be in the email. Byron, do you know what the starting price of the bundles were? Because I know that it all depends on the specific items the school needed.
I really do not recall. Ramon, do you recall what that number is off the top of your head for starting?
If you saw the video, it said 1,200. Again, that's specific to depending on the camera and some of the other products. I think that one there that we saw in the end of your video, by the way, Corey, said 1,200, and then that one included Juno, that included the Pantail, that included just about everything. But again, it depends on, that's a single cost price, right? So we could also look, once we start looking at larger installations, we have options, but keep in mind, product availability is key. So reaching out to us as soon as possible, because it changes daily. We know that for a fact. It's here today, gone tomorrow. But we have multiple options and vendors that we work with on a daily basis to see what's available for our clients and for the different districts.
And as you heard, I asked Byron which camera we used that day, because we have been testing multiple cameras so that we can make those best recommendations to you if one is not available, to make sure that whatever we're recommending is something that we can stand behind, something that works and functions. And so please feel comfortable that what we're recommending, we have tested ourselves to know that. Somebody else asked for current education installs, can they be shared? Will, what do you mean by that specifically? Like contacts at other schools that we've worked with, or pictures? I just want to make sure I'm understanding the question.
Yeah, I would think that is, and I can answer that best by saying it's probably best to talk to your account manager about that. We've done a number of these. It is certainly a new solution, but like Corey was mentioned, we've done the testing. We've made sure all of these products work well and work together. for a cohesive solution. But your account manager would certainly be able to, I think, direct you in that way if you're needing to maybe talk to another school.
All right. So that's it for the questions right now in the chat. If anyone else has questions, again, feel free, come off of mute, type them. We are here for you.
Hello, my name is Andre Lee, and I want to make sure that you all can hear me.
Yes, we hear you,
Yeah, go
Andre.
ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, who do I forward information to in reference to registering? Because you all have to be registered as a vendor with our school district in order for us to purchase your hardware software program. And who or where do I forward that information to so that you can get on our vendors list in our school system? Our school system is Prince George's County Public School System located in state of Maryland. And we're the second largest school district in the state of Maryland.
Yes, so info@visualsound.com for sure. You can email that or your account manager if you know that person. But certainly info@visualsound.com. We can help with the documentation and the paperwork needed to get set up. We would be more than happy to do that.
Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
And just for a quick side note, Tina Bailey is the account manager for the Maryland.
Yep.
So I'll be looking for that email. Thanks, Andre, for pointing that out.
Okay, thank you.
So one of our sales associates just mentioned we are on the MEET contract. So I don't know if that would help you or if it's a separate contract, but definitely reach out to that info.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?